Hello and welcome to this week's edition of ELCAT News. I'm your host, Jen Carlos. On Tuesday, remembrance ceremonies were held across Massachusetts to mark the 17th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. A candlelit vigil was held here in East Longmeadow, where members of the community joined together to honor the victims of these attacks.
We hold this vigil annually so that we will not forget those innocent civilians, airline employees, Pentagon workers, emergency medical technicians, 23 New York City police officers, 37 Port Authority police officers, and 343 firefighters who died that day.
So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear. Tell them how much you love them and that you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, "I'm sorry," "Please forgive me," "Thank you," or "It's okay." And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today.
At Tuesday's council meeting, Town Manager Denise Menard reported some progress in resolving ongoing problems with Republic Services, the town's trash hauler.
Members of the Health Department and I met with representatives of our trash company, Republic Services, to discuss the issues that we've been dealing with related to their services. Republic has made a number of staffing changes that they assured us would help address our concerns. To add to the process improvements that they're putting in place, we've also agreed jointly to a meeting every 60 days to just keep them on track, because it seems like after about 90 days it starts to slide backwards. So if we go to a 60-day program, it should get them there, and we all win that way.
A reminder to all residents from the Health Department that households are allowed one trash barrel up to 35 gallons free of charge. Anything over 35 gallons needs to be placed in an official town trash bag available at local retailers, or it will not be collected. This rule, which was not originally enforced by Republic Services, is becoming more well known with the help of blue stickers on trash. If you are issued a blue sticker, your trash will not be collected, and you will also receive a letter from the town explaining what you can do.
The majority of blue stickers is because our contract has always said that the trash company will only accept 35 gallons of trash from any residential property. Anything over that needs to be in a green bag. They have not enforced that. We're issuing the stickers so that people start to get educated. Anybody that gets a sticker also gets a letter from the town saying, here's why you got the sticker, here's what you can do. We've contacted Rockies about the 35-gallon barrels so that they don't run out of them. Republic is on board now for they sent us a flyer from Home Depot showing the kinds of barrels that you could get that were, I think one was 33 gallons. If it's 33 gallons and it heaps over a little, our trash guys know that. If it's that barrel and 3 on the ground, they won't take the 3 on the ground. So it's really an education for everybody. The green bags help offset the cost of trash disposal, which is very expensive.
Menard also provided a summary of the town's surrounding community's agreement with MGM, noting that the terms negotiated for mitigation payments leave it up to the community to determine how these funds are to be spent.
I did look over the agreement, and there is a quick synopsis of the payment piece. There are really no obligations for what those funds need to be spent on. We would tend to pair it with something that relates to that. If there are impacts to the town in any significant way, we don't really anticipate that there will be, although there's been some first level of where are we on traffic in particular that I would expect coming from the east. Especially, people aren't going to want to go up 91, and they'll come through the back way, Summers Road, Hamden Road, and end up hesitantly at our rotary, which will cause traffic there. So if there is mitigation of traffic impact there or toward the Springfield line, we have a starting point. I think they did a traffic study last year, and then we will see if there are more accidents, if we need traffic lights. That's what I would envision this money going toward. If we need special duty because of a concert night, that we find that when they have big concerts or something, or big events, that's when we need to add traffic details. It would go toward those kinds of things. I would see it more toward policing and traffic signals, which might fall under Public Works, than anything else, possibly, adding a lane or something. Really not huge significant changes to the community, but this certainly will be an offset for anything like that.
Finally, Menard announced that Walgreens will again partner with the town to provide free flu, pneumonia, and TDAP vaccinations to any town resident or town employee, including those who are uninsured or underinsured.
They're doing it at no cost to us. They're going to issue some kind of certificate so that even if you have a copay, they'll be able to, they take down your information and they'll be able to submit it to the state. It's to encourage more flu shots to be administered, and no cost to anybody that participates. So that's an awesome thing.
The pharmacy will sponsor a vaccination clinic this Tuesday, September 18th at the Pleasant View Senior Center and participate in the Health Department's free vaccination clinic on Wednesday, October 10th in the East Longmeadow Town Hall parking lot. For more information, visit the Health Department Facebook page or call 525-5400, extension 1103. The council continued its discussion of a joint dispatch agreement with the town of Hamden. At its August 21st meeting, the council agreed to allow the town manager to propose a new agreement that would place the dispatch center in East Longmeadow rather than Hamden.
It was the basic agreement that had been worked on for months before, but the names were switched, housing it in East Longmeadow rather than Hamden, and which eliminated a lot of sections. But basically the substance of the agreement, how the governing was to be done, was the same. The sharing of services is the same, but the big additional change is that we went to a flat rate, which at the end of the day saves Hamden money and saves us money. So it should be an attractive agreement for both sides, and substantively on the same idea as it was, just flipping whose house it's going to be in.
Down the road, when a decision is made by Hamden to enter into an agreement, should that be a no, then what's the future of a dispatch agreement?
You've approved funding so that we have enough funding to start dispatch now in-house. And in reality, you asked if at some point Munson decided to come. If Hamden was a no and Munson decided to come on board, would we entertain that? Well, we really don't have a product to sell right now. We'd kind of have to establish our dispatch, and we've got what we feel is really a great way of addressing the dispatch, and then having then a product that we can say, yeah, Munson, you can join us. We've been doing it now for 6 months. We have proven numbers for the 6 months of expenses. I think it'll be a per capita based on whatever we settle with Hamden, if we can do that. And we're really optimistic. It's a good deal for Hamden. I think across the board we would be in a good place, both sides.
Question for either or both of our chiefs. If the green light is given to you, how quickly would this come to pass?
The green light for which direction? I'm not trying
To do some hiring?
So go, whether without Hamden on board?
Correct, which is what
yeah.
the manager's saying.
We're looking at the middle of September right now. I think we could probably get somebody up and running with a job posting, probably a director, probably hired by November 1st at the latest. Is that fair?
Yeah,
That has been our original target date, November 1st, to hire a director, and then from then give them the authority to move forward and plan out a roadmap for the dispatch center. So we're waiting to hear on Hamden's end of the deal now, because we proposed a contract to them, right?
Yes.
If you were to give us the green light to move ahead now, by the time they answer, if you are so inclined to make it happen for East Longmeadow only, and if Hamden comes on board, so be it, that's great. I think if you give us the green light now, either way, Hamden or not, we can get moving forward if you believe in the concept, I guess.
We have a running start that way. And that's what we
I mean,
would prefer.
If you say Hampton's out and you say we still want East Long Meadow to go forward, then I think you ought to take a look at that right now and see if that's in your playbook.
Word. Direction to move forward with
There you go. Thanks.
Allocated,
Yeah.
you know, FY19.
Budgeted funds.
Budgeted funds,
Toward an-
regardless of, you know, entering into a partnership with another municipality at this point, that they would move forward with the hiring process.
For in-house.
For in-house dispatch.
There you go, I'll second that.
Motion's on the floor and has been seconded. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. I'll note that Counselor Kane has not participated in the discussion nor in the vote because of a perceived conflict of interest. So after consultation with the Ethics Commission, he and I agree that he should remain silent on the matter going forward.
Thank you for that direction.
And last Saturday's first annual bike rodeo hosted by the EL Police and Health Department was a fun and free event for families. With face painting, bike skill events, obstacle courses, and more, ELCAT's Nick Hansman was on hand to get a look at all the action.
My name is Amy. I'm the Director of Public Health for the town of East Long Meadow.
I'm Sarah Magadoo. I'm the chair of the Board of Health.
And I'm Karen Robitaille. I'm the vice chair of the Board of Health.
Last fall, later fall, we had an inquiry from a resident in the town who was concerned about proper bike riding on the streets because people were riding against the flow of traffic and not with the flow of traffic. So she asked us if we would do some education and outreach about that. So last fall we sent some information on our website and Facebook, and this is a culmination of kind of that outreach and education inspired by a local resident. We thought that including the police and the library and some other town departments would be a great way to encourage participation and cooperation between the departments, because we all have a little something different to add.
Here we go, Ben. Go, Ben, here comes the car. Let's stop. Woo. Let it go left. Turn signal to the left, guys. Which one is it? Good job.
There's 4 bike officers here today, one of our supervisors, as well as me and 2 other officers, and our chief is here as well.
All right, ready?
Okay,
and you
follow
mark.
Officer Atwater.
Get set. Now let's go.
Okay, little one.
We're going to come up to, we're on the bike trail.
Follow your brother. Follow your brother.
We have the registration table where the children are signing up and leaving us with their names and their ages, so we can help gear this event for future years. There's a little education by the police to talk about proper bike path etiquette and safety tips. There's helmet fitting by Family Bike Shop to help the kids make sure they have the proper safety gear, because helmets not only are the law, but they're also key to protecting our precious brains. Then there is some little skill building activities. We have a red light, green light to help the kids keep their head up and learn to start and stop properly, because that's a tricky thing for people learning to ride a bike. We have a cone weave to help encourage, proper balance, and then that culminates in a obstacle course. Thanks, Sarah. An obstacle course that ties in all the things that they've learned into a fun activity.
We're going to stop.
We're going to go to the
Stop sign. Now we're going to turn left. Okay, ready?
Remember your left-hand turn signal? What's your left-hand turn signal? There you go. Good job.
All right, now.
I'm Erica, the circulation supervisor, and this is Michelle, the children's librarian. We figured it was a great event because there's going to be a lot of kids here, and we have a lot of children's programming that includes a lot of biking things, and we have our local author here, Christina Us. So we felt we could really be part of the community event, bring the library here, talk about what we have to offer, and then do a little fun things like face painting and tattoos and, get everybody together.
Come on, Lily, let's go, kid. You're doing great.
Yep, up to the stop sign. Hand signal. All right, go. We'll go through these cones.
My name is, I have two names. I am Christina Us, and that's the name I write under my maiden name. And my other name is Christina Cooper, so I'm a parent who uses the library a ton. And the library invited me to come be part of this event because they knew how much I love bicycles. Over here we have the flat fixing station to show kids what's inside a bicycle tire, because when I was their age, I had no idea. Was it full of snakes? I had no idea. So this is to show them that inside a tire, there's a tube full of air, and if you get a flat tire, you can take that tube out, fix it, put it back in, and be back on the road. You just press on it and see what happens. Exactly. I have copies of my book, The Adventures of a Girl Called Bicycle, and it's about a girl who rides her bike across the United States, and she gets really good at fixing flat tires along the way.
I'm Ray from Family Bike, East Long Meadow. We figured this was a pretty awesome community event, so we wanted to make sure we were here for it. We set up a station to check helmets and bike safety, make sure that kids' seat heights are correct, and make sure everyone's kind of safe to ride. We've always tried to support our local police officers, so this was something we wanted to do.
That's all right, we'll go here. Good. Back this way. You're doing really good at this one. You're welcome. We'd love to see this evolve. So this is a great piece, but we'd love to add maybe a little family bike trip to the event, right? Where we have some protection from the bike trail up to the high school parking lot where, you know, we can get a little more physical activity in it and a little bit like a bike fun ride prior to it.
Over here. One more. Wow. One more. He did it. Nice.
All right, stop sign. Look both ways. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to take a left over here.
I'm Officer Atwater with the East Long Meadow Police Bike Division. We just got this Cannondale bike about a month ago, and it's going to be a good opportunity for us to engage the community and be able to access the community a little bit easier, a little at a softer scale. With the electric assist bike, we'll be able to get to calls a little faster when we do utilize the Bicycle Road Division. Woo! Nice job, Mason. Good work. Can I get a high five? All right. Good job. We have one electric bike and two regular pedal assist mountain bikes.
Okay.
So we have a total of three, and we continue, or I think we're going to continue to utilize the bikes a little bit more in the future. We currently have 6 officers assigned to the bike division.
It's a nice time for families to kind of do this together and sort of learn that bike safety and support each other. And, you know, as kids are getting ready for school, you know, kind of know the rules of the road and the rules of, you know, on the sidewalk. So it's great for families to hear about the same safety tips.
Come in, Isabella. Good job.
This is the first year. We've already had a pretty good turnout. So I think with more years under our belt and more lessons learned, this will be an annual event where we're able to bring this to our community.
Absolutely. On Friday, September 14th, the East Long Meadow High School Social Studies Department held a series of workshops and events to recognize Constitution Day, September 17th. The short interactive quiz on local government, discussions of constitutional issues around expression and student rights, and voter registration were all part of the activities. Social Studies Department Chairman Eddie Polk says 61 students signed up in advance to participate in the voter registration effort.
We created some activities for our students to participate in, to raise awareness, kind of focus on their student rights, focus on local government and understanding where they live. They were given questions about who's who in their municipal government. We had recorded local leaders to participate in that, and they would have to guess who those individuals would be for that specific question. And then when you hit the link, we saw an excellent recording of the individual revealing who they were and divulging what it is they do. And I got a lot of feedback today, too, from students and teachers who thought that was a wonderful thing, because kids really got to put a name with a face and understand the department. And when they were finished with that, they had an opportunity to sign up to pre-register or register to vote. And we set up a space in my classroom for them to be able to do that using Secretary Galvin's website, and we had 61 names on the list for students who wanted to register or pre-registered, and we only did that with the senior class. So we're going to provide an opportunity for students who are interested in pre-registering who are underclassmen at a later date. 41% of the students out of 154 responses we received were already pre-registered or registered. So that was a pretty impressive number. And then with the 61 students that registered today, that just added to that number. So it was a very successful event, and hopefully we can do this again next year as well.
Here's what's happening at the library this upcoming week. On Wednesday, September 19th at 6 p.m. is Healthy Living for the Brain and Body. Visit to learn about research in the area of diet and nutrition, exercise, cognitive activity, and social engagement, and use hands-on tools to help incorporate these recommendations into a plan for healthy aging. Presented by the Alzheimer's Association, registration is required. On Saturday, September 22nd at 11 a.m. is Ancestry 101. Learn how to get started on your own family genealogy. Led by Maureen LaBranche, who has 20-plus years researching her own family history, registration is required. And on Monday, September 24th at 6 p.m. is How to Talk to Your Legislators. Presented by the League of Women Voters, this event will help make voices heard on important issues of public policy. Learn how to find out about current legislature in Massachusetts, understand the legislative process, and discover ways to get your voice heard. Registration is required. That's it for this week's edition of ELCAT News. And don't forget about this year's eLeaf Spartan Sprint 5K on Sunday, September 23rd. I'm your host, Jen Carlos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.